It's about time.
Hey everybody, it's Drogith here with game number 3 of the TLO and WhiteRa show match. This is game number 3, brought to you by Into StarCraft, and as I had said last game, a lot of people have done this one, but everybody has their different views, their different ways, so let's see how this one is going. In the bottom of the Desert Oasis map, we have WhiteRa, again, as the red Protoss, and up in the top, looks like Fly is bothering TLO. Speaking of which, up in the top position, we have TLO as the Teal Zerg. Now, as I had said in the last game, TLO actually switched to Zerg for 2 matches, and this is the first one where he actually shows up as a Zerg, as we can see him actually cycling through all his units. Perhaps the Fly is no longer bothering him. Maybe it might have affected his APMs, though I'm not really going to look at that right now. But we see double extractor. Oh nope, double extractor trick right off the bat. So TLO using the double extractor trick to get more units. More units out. Get that income going. As you can see right off the bat, he's actually has 1 extra harvester, 2 extra harvesters than WhiteRa does right off the bat. And of course, it being Desert Oasis, there's only 2 places, so we have the Overlord going right to where WhiteRa is going to be, with a standard build, gateway blocking off, with a pylon blocking off as well. It looks like that probe didn't know which way it was going. He might have been driving in the car of my wife. Sorry about that, but we have a spawning pool going up in the back, pretty standard build as well. With more Overlords coming up. I'm sorry, Overlord's already up. We have the drones coming up, spawning pool, gateway. So everything pretty standard. Now, a lot of people know, as some people that might be new to the StarCraft scene, Desert Oasis is notorious for having long matches. We've seen several show matches before with TLO and WhiteRa taking place on this map, lasting pretty close to half an hour as far as the maps go. We see an assimilator go down at 14 for WhiteRa, going back and forth. I think it was, I wish I could remember which game it was, but I do remember seeing a game where there was a Nidus Canal set up for a Zerg player between both of the gold expansions. And what that did was it allowed the person to leave their base through the Nidus Canal and pop up at either one of the expansions for quick reinforcement. If there was a quick fight over on the left, then he was able to go over to the left. If that ran away and there was a sudden, we have a, what is that, TLO, a 19 hatch going down at 3.5, so we have a fast expand on this map. But as I was saying, if there was harass over on the right side of the map, they could easily jump into the Nidus Canal on the left side and go to the right side. So it'd be interesting if we actually see TLO doing something like that. As we can see, his extractor actually goes up, no extractor trick going on. But these Zerglings are just kind of happy with following the probe, and the probe's running right back up. But these Zerglings were happy with escorting that probe all the way down here, or that probe was escorting them down here, to make sure that they made it safely all the way up to where this pylon is, waiting Zealot and a Stalker. And oh, looks like that Zealot was not put on hold, so these Zerglings, or at least 3 of them, are going to be able to get their way in, and my buddy sends me a message that says no. I'm not going to type out the email address that I just sent him, so he'll have to wait for that. But these Zerglings causing a little bit of trouble right there. So yeah, he's trying to get me to talk, but I won't be able to. And we do see. Oh, you're casting. Yes, I am casting. Thank you, Gaz. You may have seen on my channel, Gaz. But anyways, we have an expansion going down for WhiteRa at 5 or 6 minutes. So that's a pretty good timing as far as an expansion goes down for this. We don't really. Okay, we see the creep tumor and the queen slowly making her way over to this hatchery over here. And we do see that TLO is going to see this expansion. I don't know if he's going to cancel it, but this Stalker is going to take care of the Overlord over there. So any type of harass that's coming down, which would be these guys right here, won't be able to get a good sight to see if there's any additional troops over there. As we can see, 2 Stalkers pushing this guy out, and that Overlord's going to go down, so he's been sacrificed. Don't know if it was for good or not, but we have a Gateway and a Forge going down, and that Forge will be able to put out a cannon or 2, maybe 1 back here, and 1 down here as protection for that. We also see a second and a third fourth assimilator going down. So we're going to be seeing a heavy gas, or at least getting all that gas. Look at the saturation over here by WhiteRa. Getting plenty of that gas up there for the gas-heavy Protoss units. Let's see what other kind of tech we have going up for WhiteRa. We just have standard tech. Okay, nothing really pushing up, just tier 1 and 1.5 units. By 1.5 I mean the Stalkers and Sentries that are brought up by getting the Cyber Core up, as we have mass Zerglings, and we do have the Metabolic Boost coming up and the Warp Gate being done. Now, if you remember in the last match, the Warp Gate was actually done very late for WhiteRa, and he ended up losing the match because he was not able to warp units in when needed. They had to slow build inside of the gateways, and that caused a problem with that infantry push that TLO did, although I'm not really sure if he would have been able to stop that. Maybe if he popped out a couple of sentries, blocked off the ramp, he would have been able to delay any further build. But we see about, 26 Zerglings on their way down here. WhiteRa just got a good view of that, so he sees these Zerglings coming down. He knows what's happening, and we have a pylon, a robo facility. We've got these 4 Stalkers back here trying to block any type of damage, but these Zerglings are just going to come in, and these Stalkers are going to try and do some damage. We got 1 cannon back here in this little corner. This is actually really good placement, so you can see only 4 Zerglings can make it into that, so that's limiting the amount of damage the cannon's doing. The cannon is taking, and the cannon is maximizing the amount of damage. As you can see, that cannon was pretty pro. I think it got 4 or 5 kills. But excellent microing by WhiteRa, able to pull his units out, get his probes out of there, and clear everything out. So he was able to get those probes safe, move it over here. These guys are moving up, but they're moving in over here. And as we can see, this Zealot's probably going to be going down before he even pops out. No, he did make it up. And he's going to be able to take out a couple of these Zerglings. The Metabolic Boost, you can see the wings popped up just in time during the attack. And he's going to be causing even more problems with these probes over here. The probes are moving around, and these Stalkers moving. Down here, we have even more Zerglings coming out. So this is some overwhelming pressure coming in. We got these Zealots kind of blocking it off. That's a nice little choke that he's got right there. Only a certain amount of guys are going to be able to do that. The cannon comes back up, and these Zerglings are going to pump back here. The Stalkers move back. There we go. Beautiful placement of a force field by WhiteRa. Able to block that attack. Do we see any expansion? No other expansion coming down, but we do see a bunch of Speedlings grooming up over there. Let's see if he gets another force field down in time. I don't think he had enough energy to put a force field down. No, he did not have enough energy for a force field, though. Another sentry comes up. These Speedlings are coming over here. Nothing coming out of the robo facility, and they're coming around. They're going to go in. It's funny, they had to go all the way around. Good placement by the sentry on that force field as well. Excellent placement. Able to squeeze, make the Speedlings try and squeeze their way through here. And we see another pylon coming up here, and what it's going to do is that's going to try and choke off these guys in here. The probes are actually running around like that, are actually choking off the Speedlings so that they're taking more damage from the cannon and these sentry units. And the sentry units actually do extra damage to biological, even though they don't do that much damage at all. As you can see, 7. But look at that, a couple of units, more units coming out for WhiteRa for this defense. Let's look on the other side. We got a couple of Speedlings over here. Do we have any tech advances over on this side? Well, we have a very small. We have a Spire coming up, so we're going to be seeing a couple of Mutas. My game froze for a second. Come on, we're going to be seeing Mutas, or there we go. Mutas, no Mutas coming out yet, though we do see a Colossus. So while that fight was happening, WhiteRa was able to tech up right back here, kind of a hidden tech thing, and he's